Good evening, morning, night, afternoon, wherever you're watching from. My name's Haroldson, or formerly Venson, if you know me by. Joined by my side are two co-casters. One of whom is a big organizer behind this tournament, which would be Bam
Hello?
and Kekery.
Hello. What's up?
And so we'll do a quick roster rundown while we have some time here in the downtime. On the Survivor team, you may notice SPN. That's going to be Spanish Nerds. These will be one of the two teams. At the moment, they have a substitute player called Euthanasia, along with their normal lineup of Joji, Manzano, and Z or Z.
Hurry it.
And
for infected team, we have Alfie, Deadeye as known as Axa, Lather, and Saros, and their team name was very annoying children's, right?
Yes.
Yes.
yes, indeed.
Yep.
I like some of the team names, but some of them I prefer not to. I swear, Bam, I swear one of yours is one of the ones that I didn't say.
It's not even that bad, to be honest.
It's not, no, but...
What was the team name again? For BAM team?
I mean, personally, it's not my style. I wouldn't be. So we're going live now, guys. All of the spawns are going to be positioned on top of the train, which they're going to be doing an instant sack already. Charger's going to be shut down before anything can happen. Spit onto the hunter, jockey into the bushes. Actually, surprising damage there.
Yeah, the hunter landed good bounce there. In this config, you can do a lot of damage with a hunter and charger combo in the spit.
Yeah, and the jockey as well provided some distraction necessary to get the spit. So that it was a good attack, actually. Some very surprising damage.
And he's in the car right now. This is the right call, in my opinion.
Yeah, indeed. He may sacrifice a pass, but he'll have a hit.
Yeah, maybe. But this is a really, in my opinion, the best call. Like, if the survivors want to push, he has this hittable in the front to kind of protect him and to scare the survivors a little bit.
Yeah, and luckily for him as well, he's only on 70% on his first pass. He doesn't have anything to worry about here. He's just waiting behind the lorry. The support setup will be a charger, hunter, and a smoke. So no boomer, just a tri-cap.
Well, he's not losing control, so that's a good thing for infected team.
Moving and attacking now. The charger misses, unfortunate. Smoker in the back, but he'll be cleared fairly quickly. Hunter trailing in at last minute. He'll be dead stopped and eventually killed. Tank is now repositioning onto the roof above the lorry, or beside the lorry.
Yeah, this is the usual play, well, what the tank usually do, and survivors try to LOS there. But there is that one dumpster right next to that house, so they need to be careful.
Absolutely.
Oh, propane can? That's the thing? Okay, that's cool.
Oh yeah. You better hope he notices that. Charger and Jockey already spawned up. They're going to be moving in. Charger onto Ellis, but he's shut down before anything can happen. Jockey, same thing. Boomer wasn't able to find a spawn. Either that or he was saving, but I think he couldn't find a spawn.
Yeah, he didn't find a spawn. He was lost there.
Yeah, exactly. Tank still is on 35%, which he has been for a fairly long time. So if they are trying to break line of sight, they're not doing it efficiently. And they're going to need to probably improve this. Still on his first pass. He's taken 500 damage and a little bit more just there.
I think that's still fine. Well, okay, 700 now, but they have had like 2 or 3 times already. Okay, they're coming up. Boomer popped. They're going in. Get. Oh, that broke.
Well, as we can see, other than the first attack, no other attacks have been as successful. They've been shutting them down quite well. Clearly, they had a little bit of a chat, and they've thought about things, and they are now shutting things down very efficient. Again, still 35% on pass number 1. He is at 85% health on 5,100, and that's going to tick down a little bit more now. They're focus firing him. Yeah. So he's sitting at just above 5,000. Boomer, Hunter, and a Jockey will be the supporting setup, but obviously with this particular area, there's not many places for the Boomer to go, and he has to travel a little bit. Hunter's pouncing around for some distraction, as well as the Jockey. He's moving in, but they're both shut down before anything can happen again.
Boomer lost the spawn there again.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need to sack that boomer, dude. It's not good for in there. Unless the actually he wants to commit. But he's not gonna land that boom. I'm pretty sure. Well, Tank is doing pretty well. Good job. Like only 1k and 300 health, and still first best. He can play long tank certainly. If these survivors don't know how to LOS this.
Indeed, yeah. Boomer's spawning at the petrol gas station, but he will be shut down before anything can happen there. It was, like you say, it's a bit too difficult, really, for a Boomer in this location, as well as most other spawns, to be honest, because there's such an open area that you can just focus fire everything. But obviously, the downside to the survivors is that the LOS isn't the greatest. Now he will be on 5% on his pass number 1, which eventually is going to be down to pass number 2.
He might have to commit with this.
Yeah, he may have to. It's 4,410 HP. That's it there. His pass number 2.
Okay, he's going in now.
Yep, he's moving in with the dumpster. The propane tank wasn't successful.
Oh shit!
He just barely missed that, as well as barely missing the car as well. He's trying to punch somebody. He doesn't end up pinning anybody. Charger's moved in, but he isn't able to get anybody. A temporary dual cap. But obviously the rock animation was too long, he wasn't able to get anything. Some damage has happened on the board. They're not exceptionally healthy, but they're probably happy with that performance overall. They did shut down the tank quite well.
Yeah, that car was really unlucky. Like, okay, they had some luck over there, I have to admit. But unfortunately, the tank didn't... he landed only 1 punch over there. And I have to admit that tank is... hard to play because there is that generator and that 1 pole over there to juke the hitables. But
Jockey, Boomer, Spitter, and a Hunter will be the setup for this particular choke point. No charge. Jockey moving in as well as the Hunter. 10 damage points onto Ellis as well as the Spit onto him, so that will be some damage. Jockey is shut down as well as the Spitter. So not much to report other than Ellis taking a fair bit of damage from a 10 damage pounce and a Spit combination. They've triggered the event now and have to see where they take it.
They glitched the witch. Okay.
Oh yeah, they've triggered the witch from the other side.
And obviously this is the best call to go back, since that room over next to the river, it's just not that good with the speed. Oh shit!
Looking from behind, Tongue is cleared very quickly, but he does get an instant recharge as a result, and we do have a pause by Deadeye.
Laughter crashed.
They actually won't be getting that 25 points bonus for the witch now that
Yep.
she killed herself.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I suppose if they want to do that, and if they want to sacrifice those points, it's
So if you fail the witch crown, and witch incaps you don't get that 25 points.
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed.
No, yeah, because I haven't. I have played too many times zone mod only, just to make sure.
And we are now going live. Charger moving in.
Oh, Charger!
Does end up getting somebody. Not much is going to happen though. No pummels, and the smoker will be cleared fairly quickly as well. Ellis has been taking the majority of the punishment so far, but obviously also Rochelle and Nick aren't exceptionally healthy either. They have 2 sets of pain pills. Ellis is a little bit lower than 40 HP. He is currently 31 HP, and therefore his movement speed is reduced. But they do have, like I say, 2 sets of pain pills in case anybody else gets slow. They'll be taking the Horde in this very open area, which is going to make it very difficult, especially for the Charger. He won't be able to get very close. Hunter's pouncing around inside the safe room, looking to get some distraction. He is dead stopped and killed, and he is the only person attacking there, so perhaps a little bit of miscommunication on the side of VAC.
Where are the comments? Ah, they're now coming there, yeah. I think they should just sack this order. I mean, sack the Boomer and the Speeder, or whatever. I don't know why they didn't attack together.
Especially considering where they currently are as well.
Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna land the Boomer there, so...
Jockey's moving in for some distraction. He's about half HP. Charger moves in. He is completely shut down, as well as a Spitter. Nothing will happen from that. Boomer is shut down before he can get close, but obviously that's going to be a recurring theme in this area. It's a little bit too open for a Boomer to do very much unless the attack is perfect. Ellis might be looking to take some pain pills here. Obviously he's not going to be using a med kit because he wants to preserve that 25-point bonus.
Well, there wasn't a lot of horde. It's spawning again. Okay, from behind. Okay.
Hunter, Spitter, Smoker, and a Jockey. So a tri-cap minus the Charger with a Spitter is what they'll be having. Jockey's already pre-spawned up. He's pouncing around, causing some mayhem, trying to make them feel uneasy. Ellis smoked in the back, but they're quick to react to that. A Jockey onto Rochelle as well as a Hunter onto Ellis again. Ellis taking, as I say, the majority of the punishment. He will now be incapacitated, and therefore his health will be temporary. Again, I don't think he's going to be using his medkit. There's no tank coming up. They have cleared the tank already. He's probably going to be opting to use his pain pills to preserve that bonus.
Everyone on the boat.
That was a nice attack.
Yeah, decent damage. Got an ingap, so...
They're taking care of their sacking order as well.
And for here, we do have a Charger, actually, for the choke point, as well as a Smoker and a Jockey and a Boomer, so potential setup for a death charge if they can coordinate it properly. Jockey pre-spawned on the roof, just making some noise, just making them feel uneasy.
Okay.
In he moves, Smoker isn't able to connect.
Oh, shit!
And the Charger, unfortunately, he's not able to connect with anybody there. Smoker's going to get a last-minute pull onto Rochelle, but it is cleared immediately. So Rochelle is now limping as well. Rochelle's sitting at exactly 20 HP. 51 HP onto Nick there, so decent damage across the board, but obviously in Left 4 Dead 2 you're not looking for damage, you're looking to eventually kill them.
Exactly. But one thing I have to say, like, if that jockey would land on the coach, it wouldn't be in a dead start 100%. But he took, I don't know, did the coach juke the jockey, or did jockey actually miss the target, but it wouldn't be in a dead start in my screen. I would actually saw that like that.
Yeah, good point. There's a Jockey, Boomer, Spitter, and a Hunter waiting and ready for this choke point just outside this thing that I've forgotten the name of, so I'm just going to skip over that. Hunter's pouncing around, which is a very common tactic just to make the survivors feel a bit uneasy, make them feel scared to move forward, and obviously with a bleeding survivor as well, his health is decreased. Hunter's going for a quick damage pounce. He's not able to connect with anybody. A nice little dual cap just behind the shed as well. So because they were behind the shed, there's some good damage. And Rochelle is in-capped on the water, which
yeah, that's funny.
That looks a bit weird, but there you go. So she's obviously got some superpowers. So that is 2 incapacitations in total. That's one person who is now slow, and there's no more pain pills. So they're going to have to move at the fastest pace of their slowest player, which is going to be Ellis. All spawns are going to be coming up now, which will be a Charger, Hunter, Spitter, and a Smoker. So some separation potential here with the Smoker. No Boomer from below. The Smoker's going to be moving in now. His tongue is cut. Hunter is just dealt with very, very easily there. Charger's going to have to climb up the ladder, and he'll be dealt with. There is a separation pull onto Rochelle in the back. Spitter's just going to spit in front to try and delay them as much as she can, and then eventually sack herself as well. So the spawn timers are fairly synchronized. The final spawn will be up in precisely 16 seconds from first spawn will be up in 2 seconds.
Yeah, nothing really to add on that. Just the survivors are really good positions on the top of that thing to shut down everything, and charging couldn't go up. Only some Smoker was the one who made some damage on the previous attack. But yeah, this is the last attack now. We'll see how it happens. Indeed,
Charger pre-spawned in the front. Boomer's a bit too far away to make anything happen. Charger is going to be missing there, and Nick is going to get pounced temporarily. I like what they were doing in terms of focusing the high HP targets, but unfortunately they're just outside the safe room here, and because they dealt with it reasonably well, they will make it into the safe room with all 4 of their medkits, but no witch bonus. Unless
no witch bonus exactly.
Which, I mean, you know, I suppose, you know, it's up to...
It's always 25. But I don't know, maybe not for the risk in that point.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting at 850 points, which actually, so far, in terms of all of these matches I've been commentating yesterday and today, that is the highest points I've seen on a first round.
You know what?
So, quite well played. They could, I think 25 points adding on with the Witch is, you know, it's a risk that if you don't want to take, it's fair enough. You can sacrifice.
Well, I am pretty damn sure he was trying to eat us.
I can't believe none of you.
Same as before, everybody's positioned on the trains above the safe room, and they'll be looking to get a quick attack. Only Rochelle is moving out, so they're going to be covering her from inside the safe room. No connection with the charger. The spitter's going to be spitting into the safe room, but as you may or may not know, if you spit into a safe room, the spread is reduced quite significantly.
Well, they didn't take that much damage on the compared to the other team.
Indeed, but still, again, some surprising damage onto Ellis, which again seems to be Ellis being the character taking the most punishment. And tank will now be spawned for the Spanish nerds. And I just love that name. Final spawn coming up, Charger, Hunter, and a Jockey, so no Boomer, which is probably a good thing, really, in this area. Tank, as before, same as last team, is going to be moving in the car. He's going to be sitting at 100% for a little bit, and now it's going to be progressively ticking down. And we'll have to see how they play this in terms of breaking line of sight. There's a Hunter spawned up, he's pouncing around in the bush. Jockey moving in for Rochelle on the car, she's going to be repositioned back to her. There is a car in play. Hunter onto Rochelle, Jockey is going to be cleared. Charger won't elect to move in. So there is a car in play at the moment. Indeed. Yeah, I do agree with this, absolutely, because there's 3 hittables on that side of the map. Tank has only taken 100 chip, and he is currently on 40% of his first pass, so he's in a decent position now. We'll just have to see how the survivors play in terms of breaking that line of sight and forcing him to commit. So we have a Charger, Smoker, and a Hunter for the supports. There's a Charger getting a rocket charge in and going to be connecting with Rochelle. No connection with the rock, unfortunately, and they need to be very aware of these. Good damage spreading across the board, and they were not covering Rochelle from the rock, unfortunately, so she's going to be taking a rock, and that will replenish his frustration all the way back up to 100%.
They didn't clear those SRs that well. Like, the Charger got 2 hits.
Yes,
easily
for
there.
some reason Nick was shooting with pistols instead of his primary weapon there.
Probably just reloading, but I don't know.
Well, they now have a Boomer,
Nice
which has been committed, and yeah, great awareness and great reaction times displayed by VAC there. Smoker from the roof, because she was behind the tree, the tongue will be cut, the rock will be skeeted before it can connect with anybody, and the Jockey is the final remaining pawn, which did not choose to commit. So no rocks landed so far, and he's on 50% of his first pass, and the survivors are going to be choosing to push forward here. Which obviously they need to be careful because the trees will block line of sight of the rocks. So need to make sure they're very aware of where
they
they're
actually
coming.
got peel assaults only in that house.
Okay, right, so if the tank commits, then Rochelle will definitely be taking those pills. She doesn't want to risk being in, especially with the cars very nearby. Boomer from behind the fence. They didn't react very well there, so unfortunately 2 booms. The rock didn't connect, and there is a Charger, which has dealt a lot of damage onto Coach there, and a rock connecting onto Ellis. So they are not in a good shape right now. They're going to need to start thinking about what's going on here. So the Boomer, I believe he was able to get the boom because they were too focused on the Charger. I think too many people were tunnel visioned onto that.
Yeah.
So at the moment, their health is not looking great, and they may actually have to use some medkits here before the tank commits in order to prevent anybody going. Smoker spawned up as well as Jockey. They're all going from separate directions, which I really do agree with. Rock doesn't connect as Hunter is still on Rochelle, and there's a Jockey onto Nick in the back. The Rock won't be able to connect, but that's some very good damage onto the survivors again. 1 medkit is now used, so that will minus 25 bonus points potentially from their total score at the end, providing they make it to the safe room. And Nick being their Ellis being their currently lowest HP target at 34 HP, Nick at 43. Those 2 are 2 punches away from being in-capped, so those are the particular ones that need to be careful. Hunter and Charger moving in at a very good synchronization, a tri-cap on the 2 people in front there. Some good damage again, and a rock heading in for Ellis, but connects with the fence rather than Ellis. Nick will be choosing to use his medkit.
Yeah, well, one thing I don't understand, like, they had the tank has the 25 rage to control, but the survivors decided to shoot him like one by one, like 5 to 8 seconds. I don't get it. Like, why they do not just hide instead? If someone wants to shoot the tank, then the whole team should do that, not just one. Because now you see they have the tank is on the first pass, and okay, now they decided to go forward.
Charge is a little bit warpy there, actually. He
Yeah.
isn't able to connect with anybody. Obviously, like I said, they need to be careful of the trees blocking LOS of the rocks, but I suppose they, it's not working out for them in that spot, so they're going to be choosing to go to a different spot here, which is a lot further forward. I suppose one of the advantages to this is that it will be draining his control a little bit, but he's still sitting at 90% on his pass number 1, so because of all the rocks he's been landing, which is a total of 3, he has been replenishing it quite consistently. Hunter, Boomer, and a Smoker going in. Boomer went in first from the rooftop. He is clear. Rock does not connect. There's a Smoker and a Hunter landing simultaneously onto the survivors, and the Rock just barely missing Ellis there. And the Smoker going in for some scratches. They're going to be hiding in the house to absolutely guarantee that they break line of sight from this tank, who is now on 50% on pass number 1.
It's gonna go second pass now. Oh, there is a car. Oh my. Well, this is not good.
Well, I mean, they can't go outside, because if they do, they have to face a car. Nice little curve rock through the doorway there, which is going to connect with one of the survivors. That's a total of 4 rocks connected, 4,300 HP. He's just going to be looking to go for curve rocks through the doorway. He can do this all day, really.
Yeah, exactly, because
by
they're
the looks
eating
of
the rocks.
Boomer's going to head straight in and get a boom onto 2 survivors there, so that's going to spawn a horde as well. Disrupt the vision of 2 survivors. Another rock landing, so he's currently landed 7 rocks. It is not looking good for the survivors here. So they need to be, they're going to be hiding in that little room there. And in comes the tank. He's going to be focusing 1 survivor, Ellis, which will be in cap. He's going to then incapacitate Rochelle. The support infectors will be moving in to roundabout now. Tank still on a good amount of HP though, and he's going to be incapping Coach, 1 remaining survivor, and he's just being annihilated by 3 special infected. 4 now. Charge is going to seal the deal there, and Tank sat at 570 HP remaining, so he was nearly killed, but didn't look good for them there.
Yeah, the Spanish team played that really well. On the other hand, the Finnish team didn't play that neither really well. Like, it was a maybe good idea to go forward, but I don't agree to going in that specific route. Maybe in one of the little bit bigger house would be a better option.
Yeah.
But seems like the stay in the safe room didn't work out for them because of the LOS issue. But they got the tank control to go to 25%, so instead of shooting the tank by one by one, they would actually go into the second pass already.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I do agree. There's either the LOS should have been perhaps a little bit more consistent, or the, as you say, the focus fire also should have been maybe a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, also that one.
Because I mean, from a range, you'd be surprised at how much an SMG can actually damage the tank. All 4 people at the same time. You can take off a lot of HP in a few seconds just from focus firing him. So as we know, apart from the first chapter, Swamp Fever is not the most forgiving map for the survivors. So a lot of bushes, a lot of mud men, which is probably the bane of everybody's life if they're playing Swamp Fever. When they put mud on your screen, I'm sure nobody enjoys that. So as they are in the lead, we'll be seeing the Spanish nerds playing Survivor first. Coach is just looking to try and bait out some spawns here, but they're being patient. I'll just get the spare cut. So we have a Boomer, Smoker, Hunter, and a Spitter. Hunter moving in. They stole each other's targets there, but Coach will be temporarily in some spit, but not for long enough.
Take any damage there.
No, honestly, not really. And I think the Smoker would have helped a little bit, because after you're smoked, you have a temporary God Frame, which means you're immune to damage. Tank is now spawned. Tank will be slowly moving in the hands of Deadeye.
He's going in.
He's going straight in. He's landing his initial punch onto Coat, missing a second punch, unfortunately, and the third one. Boomer landing onto 1. That should provide some help. A nice double punch there. and a second punch onto Rochelle. He's going to look to incapacitate her. One more punch and that will do it. But she slipped through that gap in the tree there and was unable to. He was unable to incapacitate. Unfortunately, a large amount of that was down to missing some punches. He got a nice double punch, mind you, but by the same token, it was a nice double punch, but he also punched somebody into the hunted victim, which allowed them to clear it. A little bit misfortunate there. So far, we have a Spitter, Hunter, and a Boomer and a Jockey. So we have a 2-2, which is a Boomer and a Spitter combination. But all spawns moving in, mostly from the front here. There's a Boomer landing onto one, both Hunter and the Jockey.
Yeah, this is one of the issues also. Like, in that kind of area, they have lots of spawns, like, around them, but they decided to all come in the one direction. Like, they have to change that in this kind of map. If there is a lot more than... like in the front or back, you can come anywhere you want, especially as a hunter, as a jockey, because they can just go really fast to the targets.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're paying attention to how the Spanish nerds are playing Infected, they are in multiple directions. Interrupting myself, the tongue was cut by Rochelle there, by the Smoker. Charger landing onto Coach, but cleared immediately, as well as the Smoker. Boomer won't be able to really get much from this, because all the spawns are down. But as I was saying, the Spanish nerds, they tend to variate where they're attacking from in terms of the direction, so they'll often have 3 spawns all coming from a different direction, which makes it very difficult. Boomer spawning in a decent location, actually, managing to get a boom onto Ellis. However, bearing in mind there is an event, which means that all the common infected will exclusively target Ellis, which may make it actually potentially easier for them. Jockey spawned up in the back on the plane, as well as a Hunter and a Spitter, which will be the setup for this boom attack, providing they, of course, go for it. Hunter pouncing around as well as the Jockey. They are in a very open area. They need to be quick. They pounce onto Ellis, but as you saw there, they actually shut down the Spitter before it could actually launch a Spit, so they negated a lot of damage there, which, as you can see, their health is not the best, so they want to negate that as much as they can.
But Ellis took some damage there, like 30 anyway, so... But he could take more if they wouldn't shoot Spit. So that was the right call. This Smoker, just give yourself...
I mean, I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking, the Smoker is 1 HP. Hunter from the, getting nicely shut down there by 3 people, and the Boomer being shut down as well. Charger going for the guy in the front, but will not be connecting with anybody. Everything shut down fairly efficiently. They all died simultaneously, so they will synchronize their spawn timers somewhat, with the final spawn being 14, the first spawn being 7 seconds. They'll just be moving their way through to this little shack. There will be a witch, which is going to be a lot more difficult to... they won't be able to skip this. They will have to kill. Going to go for the remote crown while the spawns are down, which they will successfully do. There is a Hunter's pouncing around in the bushes, as well as a Smoker. Smoker's going to connect with a Coach, and the Hunter's going to try to cover, but he's shut down before he can cover. Spitter is left with no target to spit on, so just spits randomly. Jockey's trying to land on somebody, but gets dead stopped, and the Smoker is shut down, and that will conclude the final attack. Going to be making their way into the safe room here again with a total of 4 medkits, which will be bonus points, including the witch bonus points as well. Charger spawning up, trying to get some last-minute damage. He will be shut down, and the door will be closed, and that will conclude the rounds with
that's gonna hurt.
355. 355 bonus margin. So, in terms of morale, team morale, it's not going to be looking good for the poor guys over on Infected at the moment. Now on Survivor, the VAC.
I mean, the Spanish team played really well all this Survivor round, but although the Finnish team didn't, in my opinion, they have really poor spawns and didn't land anything.
I kind of feel like their attacks were a bit hasty.
Yeah.
I can think of a specific example actually, because that just outside the let me ready up before I talk. Just outside the they actually waited a little bit too long and allowed the survivors to be in an open area instead of attacking in the bushes. So yeah, definitely some some haste, I would say. There's a hunter waiting in the bushes. He's going to get a wall kick onto Coach outside there, which will be spat on very quickly. Although the other spawns won't be moving in with them, which is the smoker and the boom. So a two-person attack, marginal, minimal damage being inflicted onto Coach there. They may be saving the boomer for the tank as well as for some separation, but the tank has already spawned, so they won't be able to get some separation here. Oh, maybe they will actually, because Ellis is moving forward. He's going to be smoked and completely separated from his herd, and Tank is going to be focusing him down, getting several punches onto him. Boomer from the back getting a boom onto 3 people, as well as a stumble, which is stumbling him straight into the tank. Rochelle is going to be punched in the bushes there. Tank still sitting on good enough HP, really. 3,500 smoker onto Nick, which is... Oh, and as well as a rock connecting with Coach, who is probably the last remaining survivor, other than, well, Rochelle is also in the front. All 3 of them are cleared now, so essentially they just need to really focus down this tank. If they want any chance of surviving this, Coach is being chased down. He is slow, so he can't get any much further than that. He will be incapped further in the back. They do have another boomer as well, so they need to be very careful of these boomers. That was definitely a very dangerous situation to be in, having 3 people boomed. Tank is now moving in, 1,500 and slowly moving down. Hunter moving in as well as the boomer looking for a spawn, as well as the jock. Everybody has a spawn now, and he's going to look to incapacitate Ellis, but a swing from his katana means that there won't be an incapacitation. There is a magnum in the hands of Coach, which means that he can clear Ellis when he is capped. So they actually, I have to say, as much as it was very dangerous, they did well to survive it.
Well, I have to agree that was really ballsy move by Latner to actually rush alone forward. I don't get it. Like why he went there? Even though I'm pretty sure he knew that there was two spawns up, but he still wanted to go push the tank by himself, and that's why it wouldn't been wipe. But there was some communication with his infected side. But the good thing they actually survived, so we can actually see some gameplay with survivors also from Finnish team.
Absolutely, yeah. And let's hope they keep a hold of the health they have. They still only have 1 medkit, and he is slow, so he may actually, if he takes any more damage, may actually have to use it unless they find a pair of pain pills anytime soon. So we have a spitter, jockey, charger, and a smoker. Smoker's tongue is cut and shut. Charger looking to get somebody in the back. He just ends up in the bushes instead. Didn't connect with anybody. And just barely misses a punch onto Rochelle there. But unfortunately, as I was saying, Nick has now taken more damage, and he is the only person with a medkit. And, you know, if they can't find anything for him, then he may have to be using their final medkit. They're going to be making their way.
Pills. Rochelle is finding the pills now.
There we go. Okay, that's what they needed. So they want to keep a hold of any bonus points they possibly can. Really. There's a hunter, spitter, smoker, and a boomer. So a 2-2 with a hunter and a smoker. Hunter moving in, trying to wall pounce off the trees. There's a smoker landing onto Nick as well as the hunter onto him again in the spit. So they're not really liking Nick at the moment. They're definitely focusing him, which I understand. They definitely want to get rid of that final medkit and deny them any bonus points that they could be possibly getting from the medkit. All spawns will be down for at least 8 seconds. Finals will be up in that time. They're going to be looking to trigger this crescendo. 3 spawns up, final spawn in 1 second, so there'll be a charger, hunter, smoker, and a boomer. A very devastating setup for this crescendo if they choose to rush it. A lot of separation potential.
Are they bait it? Or are they gonna... They should rush it.
See Coach holding the propane canister there. Boomer from the front, he's not able to connect with anybody because they actually completely baited him there, so that was a good move. Smoker's going to try to separate Ellis, but a nice clear on the tongue there. Although instant recharge, and again a nice clear, so they are upping their gameplay. I mean, that was a very good shutdown there. They're definitely upping their gameplay, which is what we want to see from the guys in BAC.
Yeah, that was a very well shut down.
Absolutely.
But although the special infected came from the top of the airplane, so the same direction also. But other than, yep, they played well then.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's that factor as well. They found a set of pain pills as well as actually 2 sets. Smoker's tongue is cut immediately, and again the boomer. They were in the right position at the right time and denied the boomer from connecting with anybody. They're clearing smoker tongues very quickly, and I mean, I'm hoping they keep this up because this is the gameplay we really want to be seeing from them. I mean, you know, there's maybe 3 attacks possible at this point in the map, bearing in mind one of those attacks will probably be with the witch. So, you know, if they're going to want to try and kill that witch if they want to get some bonus points there. Spawns coming up, which would be a smoker, charger, boomer, and a hunter, so another devastating setup. But well, the hunter's pouncing around for the boomer. The boomer's going to land onto 2 survivors, which is probably a good result for him. However, the spawns don't seem to be interested in attacking at the moment. They're looking around, but they've decided against it. I think they're going to be repositioning to attack with the witch. And obviously the survivors equally are going to be waiting out the boom and making sure none of their visions are distorted while they're dealing with a witch. Boomer has successfully respawned, so they still have the same setup. Hunter is on 132 HP, so that won't take many bullets to kill, which they obviously wouldn't know, but if they focus the hunter, they would be able to kill quite quickly. Witch moving in, and they successfully get the remote crown. Charger misses his target. Rochelle went for a swing on him, but didn't connect to the swing. Charger in the back there, going to be shut down. So fairly staggered spawn timers. There's a boomer waiting in the safe room to greet them, but shot straight through the wall, so that won't be happening. They're going to make it in with 1 medkit and the witch bonus point. So, I mean, you know, we want to see this. That's a big improvement already that we've seen from the map 1 performance.
Yeah, exactly. But there is still something they need to fix on the. Do they play finale also?
No. Maps
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, this is really hard for Finnish team then to actually come back. This needs to be really early tank, and they need a wipe if they want to win, and they have to actually survive with a few medkits also. But everything is possible. Everything is possible. I believe.
I want to believe for them, absolutely. It is very unfortunate because you just see these things from a spectator's perspective, and the map 1 performance. If that was identical to the map 2 performance, these scorelines would be a lot closer, and there'd be a much smaller margin to cover.
Yeah, totally agree.
But obviously, you know, the purpose of this tournament is to introduce new players. Clearly, the Spanish nerds are a lot more warmed up than the VAC guys. They warmed up after map 1, which unfortunately, as it is a 3-chapter campaign, the margin is very large. And although we're going to still believe it's a large margin to cover. But then again, let's just hope that they continue strong and they continue learning some lessons, because I can tell you for a fact they have learned some lessons based on that improvement.
Yeah, I believe it's also the nerves kicking in.
Obviously, as well. Yeah, I mean, it's a tournament setting, so obviously that will induce some nerves. Just get my spec card on. So we have a jockey pre-spawned on the safe room door roof. Sorry. There's a charger, spitter, and a smoker also waiting from the the noise from the jockey. They're not too happy with it, and they have actually shot through the roof several times, and they've managed to get the jockey down. Smoker from the front, charger completely duped. Spitter isn't able to connect with anybody. The charger is able to get some scratches though. He perhaps should have been cleared a little bit faster, but as you can see from press and tab, the damage wasn't significant. Final spawns will be coming up in 10 seconds. The first spawn will be coming up in 3 seconds, which would be Zara. He's going to be a boomer, as well as a smoker, jockey, and a spitter. So they have a 2-2 with a smoker for some separation potential. I saw what the boomer was doing there. He was trying to get a spawn. Yeah. He's going to try again. He is pops behind, and unfortunately, because of the stumble, and them all going from the same location, the stumble... delayed.
I have to say that Woodrock is so usual spot for the boomer, so I'm not surprised they actually pop that boomer. They have to do something else too.
And there is actually a witch. They do have some spawns, well, 1 spawn to deal with it. It's going to try and pull Coach. He was ready with the axe anyway, so if he was in range, it would have been cut. So they have a Smoker, Hunter, Boomer, and a Charger. He's going to be trying to pull Coach, but because he's behind the tree there, the tongue was cut. They're going to try and kill this Smoker to the best of their ability. And they're going to be triggering it for a remote crowd. Very quickly dealt with. The Boomer shut down before any connection is made. The Charger isn't able to connect, but will land one scratch. There's a Smoker taking some damage. But yeah, again, I mean, you know, you got to press tab and see that they're still very healthy with 2 sets of pills and 4 medkits. Final spawn will be coming up in 11 seconds. And at the moment,
they're gonna go all the way back, hold even. This is the smart and the right call.
Jockey, Boomer, Spitter, and a Hunter will be our setup that we're looking at here. Jockey's pre-spawn, making some noise. He's going to be moving in straight away. Boomer from the back, and that's what they want. They want that kind of distraction. The Spit doesn't connect with the hunted target, unfortunately. Maybe a little bit hasty with the Spitter there. I mean, it was a well-coordinated attack, and that's the improvement again. You know, that's obviously an improvement that they're making in this game. But unfortunately, the Spit wasn't able to connect with the correct target. The Jockey provided the necessary distraction for the Boomer to land on 3. So we just want to see that level of coordination a little bit more. There's a Jockey, Smoker. Final spawns will be Charger and a Spitter. So we have a Tri-Cap with a Spitter. Smoker's going to be looking to separate somebody here, and the Charger's looking to spawn behind them. Smoker's tongue is cut because he kites, and the Charger will be leveled. Smoker gets some separation onto Ellis below, as well as some common infected. He'll take some damage. Nothing to rave about, though, as all the spawns will be shut down, and they're still looking very healthy here. Playing very well, I would say. They're definitely very coordinated, keeping the communication. A little bit of bunny hopping going on there from Nick.
Yeah, totally agree. Like, it's this is a really open map for survivors. It's really hard to make a damage on for special infected there. I'm not too surprised they actually are still really healthy.
So we have a Boomer, Charger, Hunter, and a Jockey. Hunter making his way in for the guy below. Charger's unable to connect with anybody. Oh, we nearly connected with Ellis there. I would have loved to have seen him connect there. That would have been very funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
So the final spawn will be in 18 seconds. So their spawn timers are relatively synchronized, and their next attack will be up at the same time, I would say. Survivors will be making their way through as they've dealt with the majority of the Crescendo Horde. Now there will be a Smoker, Spitter, Charger, and a Hunter for this setup. They are choosing to move back as they're still seeing some common infected trickle in. They're in a very open area, though, so they're in a good position to take an attack. There's a Hunter pre-spawned behind. Just watching around, just waiting to see any opportunity. Smoker's going to be onto Coach, but he's unable to land on anybody. The Tongue is then connecting with Rochelle. Charger is also shut down, as well as the Spitter, as well as everybody. So Rochelle has taken the most significant damage here, and they are spreading the damage, fairly well. And they have done some good damage to Rochelle. Currently sitting at 57 HP. And we just have to see how the tank plays out, because the survivors are currently at 60% and the tank is at 79%. But perhaps one more attack, and then we'll see the tank being spawned. And actually, no, we'll be seeing the tank spawn now. Smoker's going to be moving in. He turns to AI while he's smoking somebody, because he was the one who became the tank. Boomer from behind, he gets melee'd twice and then is killed. Charger's going to be trying to connect with somebody, unable to do so, and he will be eventually shut down. He's very low, and there we go. He is now shut down. Final spawn will be a Jockey, just waiting in the back here. Tank will be in the hands of our of Laughter here. Moving his way in on 50% on the first pass already, and as a result of the distance that they cover by running back, he is going to have to sacrifice a large portion of the percentage on his first pass. Going to be looking to try and get some line of sight here before he loses his first pass. Probably going to be looking to play a long tank in the meantime. All 4 survivors have a Nuzi. Boomer from great reaction times, and he's shut down. Smoker temporarily onto Coach, shut down before he can separate anybody. And they're doing a good job with focus firing him. Already 500 damage, and they're going to try and surround from all angles and make sure they can get some focus damage.
Tank decided to go in.
He will be moving in onto Ellis. He will successfully punch him twice, but he's too far away to continue going for it. He's deciding where he wants to go here. He's on 3,500 HP. We have a jockey pouncing around. They're still waiting with the setup though. They want to see if he can connect another punch before they attack. He connects a successful punch onto Rochelle, who he's going to try and corner. He does end up missing a punch though, and a second one there. This could be him dead before he can connect, and it is. Hunter in the back there onto Ellis as well as a charger onto Nick. So some good, you know, some good last minute attacks there. But unfortunately, it's punches being missed is a key factor in the tank fights in the hands of VAC.
I mean, that was really weird that he decided to go in. Like, I think Alfie was the one who missed that boomer, and he had like 8 seconds still left from the spawn timer when he was trying to go in. Like, the support was not ready for helping the tank.
Indeed. Spitter, Smoker, Jockey, and a Hunter will be the tri-cap, so a tri-cap minus the charger. Hunter pouncing around in the bushes. Smoker's going to look to try and separate somebody. The tongue is cut. Hunter landing onto Nick as well as the Spit, so you know they're going to get some damage out of that. He has taken, I believe, around 15 to 20 damage there onto Nick, so they're going to be moving forward. Obviously, they have already triggered the crescendo, so they're not going to need to worry about that, and the tank has also been dealt with. They've used all of the pain pills they had, and one person is currently slow. They're going to hope to find a set of pain pills if they can. Otherwise, if they take any more damage, they may have to be using the med kit, but they're going to try their absolute hardest to maintain. Boomer from below, he's shut down before he can connect, which is a recurring theme actually with this particular team. Smoker from the back, pulling onto Rochelle, cleared before any damage can happen. Charger lands a scratch, but doesn't connect the charge, and all spawns will be shut down with relative ease there. Spawn time at... Sorry.
That last attack looks like a mix attack. Well, they just attack one by one. They didn't get the spawns on time together.
Absolutely. And I suppose the other thing as well is that Swamp Fever isn't as played as the other maps, so the familiarity, especially with new players, might not be high. But I mean, you know, you can see they're learning, so I'm happy to see it. There's a Boomer, Spitter, Hunter, and a Smoker. Smoker separation potential. He's going to be looking to do just that. Cleared before he can get the separation. Hunter moving in, dead stopped and then killed. Boomer from below. They actually M2 the Boomer as he's just before they vomit. And sometimes you can see, actually, if you M2 a Boomer just as they vomit, you can see the vomit leave the mouth, but you actually cancel it and nobody will be affected. And not only that, but also the vomit will go on cooldown. So they're currently sitting at 3,115 points, which is... I mean, I hate to say it, but it's... I hate to say it, yeah, it's going to hurt. It's too large of a margin, really, to cover. Nonetheless, you know, I'm hoping that they apply the same as the last chapter, and I'm hoping to see some improved gameplay again, because they're clearly showing that they have the capability. They'll just need to just review, because obviously they're going to have this live stream to look back on as well, this video on demand. So they will be able to have a look at, see potentially what went wrong, review the mistakes, and improve.
Yeah, that's the one they should actually do. Review the match and see what they can do actually better. But although I have to agree, Swamp Fever is so much different than some other meta maps like Paris, Hard Rain, or Dark Carnival. Like in this specific map, you need to take a pre-spawns and make a distraction for Boomer and Charger to get a clock.
Absolutely. So yeah, it you know, another factor could just be lack of knowledge. It is a
Yeah, exactly.
Which you can't blame them for. They'll eventually it'll be drilled in. So there will be a Spitter, Jockey, Charger, and a Smoker for the initial attack. Smoker's behind the white truck there. He's going to look to try and separate. Spitter pre-spawned up. All spawns coming from the same sort of direction. The Charger's going to be waiting at the truck there. Smoker's going to be pulling, but he's cleared before he can get anybody. The charge does actually connect, and the Spitter will connect after. So, as we know, with the Charger-Spitter combo, there's decent damage that can be done there. Not as much as they would have hoped for, but they still got some damage onto Ellis, putting him at 73 HP, the rest on 100.
Like, that Charger had like 200 HP for 3 or 4 seconds, and there was... nobody was shooting it. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what
it
I
was-
also noticed.
Yeah. That charge it shouldn't have landed there. Like those just little things, just shooting the right targets and together also.
Absolutely. We have a spitter, smoker, jockey, and a boomer, which is arguably... Well, actually, speaking of a boomer, he's going to be moving in from behind the rock. Again, he won't be landing. Smoker is cleared, jockey is landing, but will be cleared fairly quickly. Boomer is jumping around and will be cleared as well.
And that spitter wants to stay alive still for the third attack. But yeah, that's boomer spot again. It happened in the previous round. I mean, for Finnish team also. They actually tried that one also. It's so very uncommon spot always.
That
to go
rock is
as
so
a boomer.
tempting to go behind you.
Indeed.
On which
So we'll have to see how they play this. There's a full setup, which would be a spitter, charger, smoker, and a jockey. They're going to go for the remote crown, and she's just gonna lose her trajectory. They're still going to get they're still going to get the award points, mind you. But it was interesting. I'm not sure how she lost her trajectory there, but there you have it. Witches can be a bit unpredictable sometimes. So we have a spitter, smoker, and a jockey. Final spawn in 9 seconds.
Reloading.
Hey, look out! Watch out!
They're probably going to be waiting for that final spawn before they get an attack. There is the crescendo that they'll be dealing with. Similar to last team, they probably will be moving back, which they are choosing to do. Just got to make sure they're all going the same direction. They're very separate. Boomer landing onto 2 people, so they need to stay very close here. Jockey moving in from the back is going to connect onto Rochelle and try and get her into the spit. So they get some damage. Nothing to rave about, as I've said, but you know, enough to be of some concern. With their highest HP target being Zaros, aka Nick, at 91, and their lowest being Laughter, aka Ellis, at 63 HP.
I'll take this one.
XD. But yeah, this looks for like a Spanish team. They had a similar health-ish state in when they were holding the event. They have the survivor team and has now the same in the health what they did. So they're playing pretty well. Oh, nice pop over there.
Indeed, yeah, very good pop there. Hunter, jockey, and a charger will be the tri-cap. Charger scratching that door open. Before he can get anything, he's just spent too much time scratching the door. And I just want to quickly go back on something. Did I say XP instead of HP?
No, I...
Okay, no. Oh, cool, good. Thank God. I thought, oh my God, did I say XP? What the hell's wrong with me? Right, so final spawn coming up.
That looked pretty funny that the charger decided to come from the toilet.
Yeah.
The 3 punches like, no, this isn't zone mode, because in zone mode you can destroy doors by 1 hit, so...
Indeed, yeah. We have a smoker, jockey, spitter, and a charger, so a tri-cap with a spitter, and some potential separation. We have the smoker from below, going to be looking to separate Coach, and then they're going to connect the charger onto the same target, as well as the... And they're going to get Nick into the spit here with the jockey. So that's going to be some damage they're really not going to be wanting to take, but they do have 3 sets of pain pills, mind you, so...
That was a really good attack, actually. The smoker pulled the target for the charger, and he just instantly pre-charged on the target and got him. But on the other hand, survivors should know that and should charger before he would get hit.
So the next setup will be a charger, smoker, a hunter, and a spitter. Smoker from behind. They tried to do the same thing, but it wasn't successful this time. A smoker will be shut down as well as the hunter mid-air, spitter, and everybody will be dead at the same time, roughly. So they'll be moving forward. 2 survivors at exactly 40 HP, and if they were 1 HP lower, they would be so they're going to be quite thankful for that. Final spawn will be coming up in 8 seconds. The first spawn coming up in... Tank is now spawned, so they have a boomer, which might be looking to get a spawn somewhere as they're running back. Although the tank has a lot of distance to cover, so even by the time he gets there, the boomer might have run out. So they have a boomer, jockey, and which is a decent distraction setup to allow the boomer to get something, and they do have to cut across this house. The boomer does actually go first and is able to connect with 1 person. Obviously, you know, you'd rather it be 1 than any more, so better than that. Jockey and a hunter will be the remaining support setup for the tank. He's going to be throwing some rocks from the distance. Probably going to be looking to do the similar thing with playing the long tank. We're just hoping to see that they either line of sight, focus fire, either one or the other. Charger, Jockey, and a Hunter all be going in. Charger lands onto Coach as well as the Hunter. And I have to say as well that just a quick little... Oh, they did a good job shutting down that rock there, actually, with that Jockey distraction. A really quick thing worth mentioning, though, is that what happened there is sometimes if a Hunter and a Charger pin the same target, there's a double get-up animation, which is, as you can imagine, if that happens in a spit, then you're going to have most of your HP taken off in that instance. Obviously, as it's a tank fight, there won't be a spitter. There's a Boomer, Charger, and a Smoke. They're going to set off the propane tank there. Misses his first punch, but he separates Coach with that punch, so he's not going to be a problem. Indeed, great pop on the Boomer there. The tank is not able to get close to anybody. This is what we want to see. Smoker trying to get some separation. A rock does not land onto Coach there, although Ellis has taken a pound in there from everybody. He's going to be incapped by the rock. Nick is going to be in the distance here, trying to dodge this rock. He's going to switch his focus onto Coach. Not going to be able to land very much more. He's on 400 HP, and he's eventually going to be going down here. So, again, as you can see, now they're actually surviving with their medkits. So the improvements are happening. Even in a game where they know very well they can't win, but they're still staying strong and improving, and I'm really enjoying seeing that. I have to say.
Yeah, the same. Oh, they are taking inside already. Oh, just bit that. Oh, he's slow again.
And
well,
he's not gonna like that. So they're gonna use the medkit on Nick and Ellis. So that's gonna be some bonus points. So they'll be moving forward now. Coach is soon to be slow as well. Actually, he is slow. He's at 39 HP, which they're not going to enjoy that because they want to get through the map a lot quicker than that. It's going to be a Boomer Charger. Final spawns will be a Smoker and a Hunter, so a tri-cap with a Boomer. A lot of separation potential if they can pull it off. A Hunter pounce, Smoker onto Coach, cleared immediately. Boomer landing onto 3 survivors. Very nice boom there. Hunter getting a 1 damage pounce there, and there's going to be a Charger trying to get Coach. Doesn't connect the charge, but connects enough punches to incapacitate him anyway. I mean, you know, it's probably also worth noting that if somebody's in a get-up animation and you try to charge them with a lot of the times that will happen, as you saw there, that you will stumble on them instead of connecting with them. So it's a really fine timing that you need to get down. Jockey pre-spawning, trying to slow down the survivors a little bit. They do also have a Boomer from below who's going to successfully boom onto 1 survivor. Hunter from the back is going to land onto Coach as well as the spit, which is not going to connect. Don't know where that spit went, but yeah. It's
I have no idea. I didn't see it either.
just disappeared into thin air, so that's a magician spitter there. They're going to be moving forward with 1 medkit, which, you know, this is the best shape they've been in on a chapter. So currently they have a Charger, Spitter, a Boomer, and a final spawn in 1 second, which will be a Hunter, which they're probably going to look to be attacking fairly soon. This will be their final attack if it doesn't go very. Charger from the bushes, he's already taken some damage. Hunter pouncing around for distraction. They're in such an open area that they can really deal with this very well, though, and they do just that. Boomer from the top, they did not expect the Boomer to go from there, so 3 people boomed, but as he went last, nobody will be capitalizing on that, so they just need to clear the commons as fast as they can. Make it into the safe room, which they will do. And there you have it. So that will conclude our game here, guys. I feel very sorry for the guys in VAC. They played very well. You can't take that away from them. But the Spanish Nerds will be your victorious team here with 3,115 against 1,779.
Yeah, a lot to improve there from a Finnish team, but they just need to review the match and get better and discuss the things what went wrong and what they can do better.
Absolutely. So, thank you everybody for tuning in to this lovely little live stream. This has been a pleasure to host, and we'll hopefully be getting some more to you soon.